What's up everyone? I wanted to do a video walkthrough of my flats boat, the Hewes Redfisher 18. Fishing has been quite tough lately, haven't been able to make it out on the water, and I was doing some work on the boat and figured why not do a walkthrough just to kind of show you guys what this boat's about in case you were in the market for a flats boat. That way you'd be able to see what a 19-foot boat looks like, what kind of storage capacity it has, all that fun stuff. Now, the Hewes are really great flats boats. They are self-proclaimed the boat that invented the sport, and you guys will see why during this walkthrough. It is built for fishing and it is quite comfortable for a 19-foot boat. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into the review. Now, if you're new to the channel, I do a lot of inshore fishing and offshore fishing out of Steinhatchee, inshore on this boat, offshore on the Sea Hunt Gamefish 25, which I will put up there for you guys if you're into that. Now, before you guys roast me, like I said, this is a fishing boat. Someone on the Sea Hunt didn't like how dirty the boat was, but this thing is used, it is abused, and it is meant for fishing, so it's not gonna be squeaky clean like you'll see on some of these other sandbar boats. So just take that into consideration before you guys roast me in the comments. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the walkthrough from bow to stern. So first things first, we are going to start at the front. This is the Minn Kota Tarova. It is a 55-inch shaft, 24 volt, 80-pound thrust, and this thing pushes this boat like no other. It will last all day fishing. You know, if you are going to be in some super heavy current, it might not last you a full 6 to 8 hours of fishing, but for just your normal everyday fishing day, this thing will last pretty much all day long. I will do a future review of this, that way you guys can see what it's all about, but have to be on the water for that. So, all right, so moving right along, we have this compartment here. This is just your anchor locker. It actually has the plug for the trolling motor there as well, and this is just a three-prong plug that we have here, and then it's just got room for your anchor. I hardly use this, only when my trolling motor's out, or if for whatever reason I don't want to use trolling motor battery, I'll use this anchor. But nice little compact compartment, and it does have a little cleat here for the anchor, or if you wanted to use a dock line instead of this particular pop-up cleat right here. Moving on to the bow, we have this big open area for people to fish off of, and then you have a really big storage compartment here. This is typically where I will put my tackle bag when we are underway. Also has plenty of room for any other equipment bags that you might want to put in there. I'll put my camera bag in here from time to time, and it's just a really big, deep, see, I can't even reach down to the bottom, deep storage area, and you have access to the hole if you need it. I hardly ever have to get in there because this does have a self-bailing cockpit, but super big area right there for any storage that you might want or need. And then you have two identical hatches on your starboard side and your port side. Now, I have a bunch of dock line and rope in here, as well as two bumpers. Normally you won't see bumpers on a fishing boat like that, but the guy that had this boat before me was actually a yacht tender, and so he needed the bumpers just to make sure he wasn't bumping in any yachts. I'm probably going to get rid of those because I don't need them, don't ever use them, and they do take up quite a bit of storage. So, and then hopping aboard here, I'm just going to show you this right hatch as well. Again, more storage. Don't have anything in there just yet because I cleaned my boat out and don't really have anything to put in there yet. I also have a stiffy push pole. I believe it is well, it's probably a 19 or 20 foot stiffy push pole, and it also has these holders right here. This one actually can retract if you don't have the pole. It's just gives you an overall nice flat area for you to fish off of, and it's got plenty of room for two people up here. Normally, if I'm on the boat with two other people, I'm either on the poling platform or just kind of fishing off the bow. One thing that I don't like about the older model Hewes is the fact that this console really doesn't have anything other than storage in it. I actually have all my batteries in this console, and I'll show you a little bit more as we go through. But the newer model Hewes, they have this portion of the seat cut out, and you have a cooler there that you can put cushions on in order for people to sit there. I think it's just a little bit more functional. Yes, I did put all of my batteries in this center console, and I took them out of that compartment back there, which helped kind of helped the running surface, but I kind of wish I could put a cooler there. Otherwise, the only other spot for a cooler is up here, and it just takes up a lot of space. So moving along, down here you have space for 4 rods. Now I will say it does get pretty tight in here if you put 4 rods. So if you guys have any tips on how to store rods underneath here, let me know. Otherwise, I just put 2 rods there. And then I also have my check-it stick under here, just so we can measure any fish if we're tournament fishing, or just to see kind of how big our fish are. I highly recommend these things. They are kind of expensive, but they are virtually indestructible, and it will pretty much last you your life. So go check them out. And then on this side, again, you have another 4 rod holder, another option to store 4 more rods. And then moving along to the console, I actually do have a cushion for this, but I don't ever really bring it just because no one normally ever sits there. But just kind of giving you guys a heads up on that. Do have this grab rail. It's very sturdy. Also have this windshield. I'm thinking about taking it off just because it does kind of take up some of my storage space here. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Windshield or no windshield. And then moving down here, we have 3 rod holders. Also spot for a couple fillet knives if you want it. And then pliers, which is nice. And then on this side, it just has access to the console. As you guys can see, my batteries are in there. This boat also came with a pretty nice sound system. Got some speakers there, and then another one on that other side of the console. However, the head unit on it right now is not working. Got to troubleshoot that before we can start bumping some music while we're fishing. And then looking at the console here, I have a very old Lowrance machine. Lowrance, however you want to pronounce it. It's an Elite 5 DSi, very old. It does work, however, I'm looking to upgrade to Florida Marine Tracks eventually. So if you guys have any recommendations on some affordable units that can run Florida Marine Tracks, please let me know, because I was looking at the Simrad Evos and they're like $3,000 for a 12-inch screen, so don't really want to drop that right now. But either way, have our Ritchie compass, have our nice 5-spoke steering wheel. I want to get an Edson power knob because it is a little bit of a pain to turn this thing in tight quarters. Just have your digital gauges here, and then your throttle control with your trim up and down. And then this is that Fusion head unit, like I said, that's not working right now. How the switches, they're all kind of faded, but got the horn, an additional accessory. This is nav lights, anchor light, bilge, courtesy lights, and then we have 2 live wells. We have one in the port side, and then we also have one directly behind the boat. I'll show you those. You have your ignition, kill switch obviously, and then these are the trim tabs. And then we do have a little accessory thing, but I don't ever use that either. So, and then we have a little tab here, and then again, that's just where all my batteries are. Okay, and then moving on to the seat, like I said, you do have a nice open area back here to fish from as well. Plenty of space. And then I do have cushions for the top of the seat, but again, I don't use this boat a lot of times for comfort. It's for fishing, and I don't like having extra cushions if I can avoid it. And then this flips up, which has a nice bench seat. You can fit 3 people across there comfortably. And then underneath, there's just some more storage. That's where I keep the life jackets and then my throwable. Now on some of the newer Hewes, one thing that I like is that instead of this bench seat, you just have cushions on top. I actually kind of prefer that because this is kind of a pain, and I don't like having to flip this up in order to sit down. And then also you have this big seam right here, which just doesn't feel comfortable when you're moving across the deck. If you're clumsy like me, sometimes you could get your foot caught in there, or you could stub a toe. And then on this side, this is where the batteries used to be, but now I just kind of have some of my emergency equipment. I have fire extinguisher, first aid kit, I have my paddle. And then in here, I have my battery charger. There's a fuel water separator here. And then moving here, this is the bait well, I guess you could call it. This is where we store our shrimp. I actually was able to keep 2 redfish in here for our tournament. They lasted fine all day long, so can also double as a release well. And then this is actually plumbed as a release well also. You can see there, you've got the outlet there, and then there's a drain. However, right now the pump isn't working, so I have a replacement, but just haven't been able to replace it yet. And as you guys can see, this is powered by a Yamaha 115. I'll get back down there and show you the prop. We got the 2 JL audio speakers. Like I said, this thing is quite a beast when the head unit works. And moving on to the very back, we have a PowerTech 4-blade prop. Pushes this thing very nicely, jumps up on plane no problem. And then we also have a hydrofoil. This was on the boat when I got it. It's an SE Sport 300. It does help lift the boat up out of the water a little bit. However, I feel like it might mess up the speed of the boat because it's creating a little bit more drag, obviously, but I really don't know. So you guys tell me what you think. I used to have a Minn Kota Talon on this boat, but it unfortunately got stuck down. I'll leave a link down in the description of that video if you wanted to hear about it. So it's currently in the shop. Hopefully I can get it repaired. And then honestly, I really plan to replace it with a power pole one day. But that's what this mount is. That's what this wire is. Just for whatever reason, I haven't gotten around to getting it fully fixed. So that should be coming soon. And I'll show you guys these trim tabs. They're actually quite massive for a boat this size. You guys can see my hand compared to the trim tabs, and they're huge. There's the bottom of the hole. You got the drain plug right there, and then there's my little transducer right there. Well, that's it, guys. That is the walkthrough of my 2005 Hewes Redfisher 18. I will make sure to leave a link down in the description below of all of the current upgrades I have on the boat. I really haven't done anything much to the boat other than the trolling motor, which was a must. It was actually a nice substitute for the Minn Kota Talon that I had because that broke and it's still in the repair shop. So let me know what you guys think. I am planning on doing some upgrades on the boat, and I will make sure to keep you guys along for the ride. Those things include hopefully getting my Minn Kota Talon replaced, new GPS unit, and then fixing the head unit to make sure that the stereo works. And I'll make sure to do some reviews on the Minn Kota Tarova as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't done already, please subscribe to make sure you don't miss any other future videos. And if you did like this video, please make sure to hit that like button. It really helps me out to know what you guys like to see. All right, until next time, I hope you guys are able to get out on the water and catch some fish.